really fantastic to be in India here. I wanted to sort of highlight a slightly different topic because I figured we'd cover a lot of different things. And I wanted to go over, we've done about 1,500 awake surgeries, about 500 fusions. And I like the comment that came earlier about, is this really taking off? And the question is, if we can't get a good fusion, there really is no purpose in doing this. And so the key to this surgery is to make it stereotyped and easy. That is, you have to have a standard operating procedure where you can do the surgery through steps. It can be easily taught, and you have to reduce all the other risks we see with typical operations. Now, this is how we put this together back in 2011, the very first awake endoscopic surgeries. We were doing this without using any spinal analgesia. I know my buddy Praveen Mumanini at UCSF, he likes to do this under spinal. We do it under local and in prone position. So the key here, of course, is understanding the anatomy, which is getting through Kambin's triangle. I like this Kambin society that I think Dr. Agarwal started. Getting in safely through Kambin's triangle because it is a limited space. And we've done this, again, over 400 times. Our recent publication in Journal of Neurosurgery is coming out, or has already come out electronically. Gives you a very good idea. Here's the key. The key to successful surgery is good indications. If the indications are good, the surgical results are likely to be excellent as well. Spondylolisthesis at L4-5 or L3-4 is the best kind of case to start with, and I've published a good bit on this. But this is the goal, getting a successful arthrodesis. If you can't get a successful fusion, the surgery eventually will fail because we've really focused on fusion surgery. We know endoscopic surgery being done the world over. I'm not the world's expert in endoscopic surgery, but certainly in fusion, we have become one of the leaders because we feel this is really where we need to get to. This is not the goal. This is one of my cases that has a non-union. You can see the screw loosening. You can see the cages subsiding through the end plates. This is exactly what we want to avoid because this is why some folks think that this kind of surgery doesn't work. Now, a lot of this has to do with graft site preparation, getting proper preparation, and this has been studied, of course, already in the world of MIS versus open TLIF, and if you look at where people have the bias, which is where do you not prepare the disc well, it is different whether you do this through a minimal approach or through an open approach. And I think, these papers, we don't have time in 6 minutes to go over it, but just to have the consciousness that these are the areas of the disc that I have not approached properly to get a proper contact area, right? So preparation of the fusion site, this is the bulk of the time in the surgery. We spend a lot of time cleaning the end plates, getting the disc out properly to be able to get the cage in. And the goal, of course, is to get this, as we heard earlier, the bleeding bone. You don't want to violate the end plate, but you need to get that bone surface with the cartilaginous end plate off onto the bony end plate, and then you have a successful chance for arthrodesis. Then a good fill. You need to fill that disc space nicely. That gives you the elevation. Indirect decompression is really critical. I like the comments about using cement earlier. These patients are all osteoporotic. They're all old. They're all disabled by the time of surgery. This kind of shows how we do this with endoscopic curettes. There's so many ways to do this. We can use radiography, contrast analysis. This just shows you under direct visualization with the endoscope that we can clean the end plates. And so a lot of key tips and tricks. The DRG is the structure at risk. Be careful about the dorsal ganglion. Spend time on the disc removal. Make sure that you've taken enough to disc out. And finally, the future. Sagittal correction. This is a lateral approach, 3-level fusion. What we're getting to is ALL sectioning, the concept that we can use the endoscope to get in there. We've already published on this section the ALL. Can we do this without general anesthesia? Can we do this through staged approaches and modularized implants? That's really the goal. Surgeries like this we're already doing. This takes a little over 2 hours to do under awake anesthesia, and this is the beginning of what we're getting to. But of course, adding lordosis, this is really the key. Can we get to the point where we can mobilize a rigid spine, then expand and create interbody height on the anterior column, correcting significant deformities, perhaps through stage surgeries, perhaps through a single surgery, and that's really the goal of our operations. So thank you very much for inviting me to Mumbai. Fantastic meeting. Congratulations.